In this video, I'm gonna be revealing specific profitable products leads for Amazon FBA. We're gonna be looking at products that are super profitable, breaking down why they're good and why you might want to buy them, but also we're gonna look at some non-profitable products and some products that might trip up a lot of new Amazon sellers. But if you guys are brand new to the channel, my name's Warner Fields from Fields of Profit. I'm a full-time 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm super excited to dive into the data on these products and show you exactly why or why not you might want to buy items just like these. And before we jump into this, if you guys want even more free resources to learn how to sell on Amazon, in the description beneath me is going to be a ton of awesome free resources, a free Discord community, free spreadsheets, and a bunch of other stuff completely free. Go ahead and check that stuff out. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. So we've got 6 products that we're going to go ahead and break down today. Let's just go ahead and jump into it here. So this is the first product that I found here, and I'm going to let you know after we break down the product whether or not I think it'd be a good idea to buy. And I'll just kind of talk out my thought process on these leads, right? So first off, we've got this, this baby powder blend right here, and over here on iHerb, we can see that the same item is selling for $5.17. Plus, we can get a 10% coupon, so really we're paying about $4.50. Typically, I like to stay away from baby products and that kind of stuff, baby formula, but just since it's kind of a niche type of item, there's plenty of other alternatives that are affordable. I don't personally have a problem with selling this type of product, but I did want to mention that for those of you guys who are, maybe a little bit concerned that we might be selling some baby food or something like that. I try to stay away from bare essentials. This is kind of, a fancier type of baby food here, right? So we're buying these for about $4.50 each. So the way we can actually do our math here is $5.17. And then we got 3 of them, right? And then we're getting a 20% or a 10% coupon. So that's going to bring our buy cost down to about $14. Over here on the Keepa chart, this is about $20 a month right here. This is another $20 a month over here for SellerAmp. This is our tool, but really these are the only 2 tools that you guys genuinely need to get started selling on Amazon. So if you see people talking about needing thousands and thousands of dollars, really you can keep it super simple with these. Now let's just go ahead and break it down here, right? So with Keepa, we can see the past history of the item. And basically what I'm looking at here is to make sure that the item's price is consistent, right? So it didn't just randomly raise up to $30 or $35 out of nowhere. I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to charge that price consistently and my profits are actually going to be pretty secure, right? So as I'm looking at the Keepa chart here, I can see that the price over time has been, at least $30 ever since, last November. So to me, that price point is pretty safe. I guess we had that little, little price drop right down there in what's that, May or something like that, but not super concerned with that. We could have just waited and sold after the price went back up. So right away, a nice little box checked here is we've got plenty of history that this item does actually sell in the $30 to $35 range, right? So I've actually got it on the low estimate right here because right here we can see that it's going for $33. And up here is actually the FBA offers. So if we're shipping from Amazon's warehouse, that's what I prefer to do. We're actually being able to charge $35 for this item. So that's not too bad at all, right? So just to make it worth maybe a bit of a slower selling item, it's not super slow. It is selling 120 times a month, but just a little bit of extra ROI there to make it worth the risk of selling a slower selling item. And the fact that this coupon isn't amazing, I like to try to get even more strict with my items, the easier it is to find. And since this is only a 10% coupon, it wasn't super hard to find. It did take a little bit of legwork since it's a multi-pack and all that good stuff. So yeah, we can dive in here. And right here on the Keepa chart, anytime you see one of these little drops, that is a sale. As you get faster and faster selling items, one drop could be way more than one sale. So keep that in mind. But the fact that there is drops going on here tells me that it is selling decently often. And another thing that I noticed as I'm looking at this item here is that the sales rank is dropping as the price was at like $32. And that's from an FBM offer. Again, I like to do FBA, so I'm going to ship it straight to Amazon's warehouse. They're going to ship it to the customer for me, provide that prime shipping, all that good stuff. So we're probably going to be able to charge a premium over that $32. So to me, $32 is our worst case scenario here, which is about $7 profit. Our best case scenario seems like it would be that $35 price point that we're dealing with right now. Another thing I might want to check out here is what the competition looks like on this item. So right here, we can see we've only got 3 competitors on this listing. It does say they have over 1,000. I wouldn't be super concerned about something like that. With FBM, you can change your stock and make it look however you want. With FBA, that is genuinely how much they have at Amazon's warehouse. So they've only got 7 units. Really not too bad in terms of competition here. So we'd be able to hop on here and start getting our share of the $120 a month in sales here. And this would be an item that I would buy. It is on the slower side. It's on the maybe a little bit riskier side, just because it's kind of a weird Keepa, all that good stuff, but consistent sales price, consistent sales on the actual Keepa chart here. And it doesn't seem like anyone's ever really tried to be in stock on this as an FBA seller. And when they were having no problem selling, and then they went out of stock, it seems like, right? So even at $33, they were making great profits selling this item as an FBA seller. So I probably would pick up this item. And of this 3-pack, I personally would probably buy about 20 to 30 units of the 3-pack to test it out, see how it goes from there, and then hopefully you can buy a whole lot more. So let's go ahead and break down another item here. This is going to be kind of a hand soap refill from Bath & Body Works. We can sell it on Amazon for 38 bucks. And then over here on the Bath & Body Works website, it's going for 14 bucks. So in theory, it's a really good flip, right? So about 15 bucks there. We're going to be making about $10.60 profit per unit. And right as we go ahead and check out the Keepa chart down here, this is where we can see the trajectory of the sales, see the trajectory of the actual price of the listing. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So a couple things to think about here, right? So this listing is only 37 days old. We can already see that the number of new sellers is increasing. See, it was 1 on July 1st. And then, a few days ago here, it was 9. So that's a pretty significant percentage increase in supply. If you're going back to middle school economics there, supply and demand is going to have to find kind of an equilibrium there, right? So if the supply has gone up that much, and the price hasn't really changed much at all, there's a good shot that this price is going to keep going down, and it did, right? So right after that 9th seller came on the listing, the price kept going down and down and down. Looks like it may come, tiny bit back up here for just a moment, right? But that is not even the major issue that I see with this listing. The real problem that I see here is when we go to variations on Keepa, this is going to let me break down each of these different kinds of soap. They're selling differently, a different volume, right? So one of these soaps could be getting all 75 of these estimated sales every month. And when we go ahead and check out the Keepa down here, we can see that this, we're looking at the white tea and sage up there. When we go and check it out, we can see the white tea and sage right there on the kind of the scent name, right? But the big problem here is that there's no ratings and there's no reviews on this particular scent of soap, but there are ratings and reviews up on these, right? So what we can kind of infer based on that is that these are probably the faster selling variations of this product. And you'll see this especially with really fast selling listings where it sells 10,000 times a month. And then you find that one weird variation that has no reviews. It can be a really big thing to trip you up, especially with shoes and clothes and all that kind of stuff. So always make sure you're diving into the variations tab here. And in this case, we can see that the price is dropping pretty significantly. We had that increase in new sellers and there's no ratings and reviews. So even though the profit is pretty good on this product, this would actually be something that I would pass on because I really don't think we're going to find too many customers, even at this high of a price point. After we factor in, the increased competition, all that good stuff, I would have to imagine that the price is going to keep going down here. And even if it doesn't go down, we're going to have a hard time selling too much of this here. So really, I would not recommend buying this item. Maybe you could test it out with, 3, 4, 5 units, see how it goes. I just don't see this item selling super well for you. And so this would personally be something that I would like to avoid. Typically, I'm looking for at least a few increases on the ratings history of these items here within the last 90 days, right? So we're zoomed into even within the last 30 days here. This has a few, this has one, this has another one, but we've had no ratings. So there's really no way to tell if this particular listing is doing really well at all, or if it's just, crickets on this listing, right? So this would be something I would avoid based on that. The next product I want to go ahead and check out here is this soccer ball. So we can buy this for $18 over here on this website here. And then over on Amazon, this same product is selling for about $43 right now. I've used this as an example in a previous video as well. So it might look a little bit familiar, but let me go ahead and break this lead down for us. So zooming out here to the past history of the item, I like to get, a year-long picture as well sometimes, so we can zoom out even further. This item has literally never been cheaper than, let me see, like 38 bucks right about there. And even at 38 bucks, we're still making $6 profit. So that's your absolute worst case scenario, right? So right now it's going for about, what was that, 43 bucks? Yeah. So we're making about 10 bucks in profit. It is under 100K BSR. Typically that's what I'm going to be looking for, is the top 100,000 best selling products in each category. Some categories have some exceptions, but for the most part, stay under 100K BSR and you should be good. And that works out to about 30 sales per month. So it's definitely on the slower side of items that I personally like to sell. The bare minimum that I'm going to look for on an item is 30 sales per month. But since we're getting about 56% ROI, to me, it's worth that, that extra gamble there of having a little bit of a slower seller based on the fact that we do have that higher ROI. And so the other thing you want to keep in mind here is the seasonality of this product, right? So you can see it last year when in February, January, makes sense. No one's really buying soccer balls, but as we got closer to like the warmer months, you see that green sales rank line dropped way down, down into the 33K rank area. Right now we're up at, 76K or so. And you can even see it doing it again, right? So here, as we get deeper and deeper into summer, for whatever reason, this product seems to be selling faster, right? So it could be back to school related, something like that. As you're getting, back into the swing of things, soccer practices, all that good stuff, we're seeing faster sales as that green sales rank line is decreasing. So to me, that's an extra bonus point for this item that as the actual sales rank is going down, it's going to be selling faster, which is going to keep prices higher. Again, going back to economics, right? If demand is rising, then there's a good shot that price might also rise as long as, supplies kind of stays the same. So I personally would pick up some of these here based on the fact that the sales are actually increasing, and it's estimating our sales at about 33 per month. It seems like we've got, maybe 2 or 3 FBA competitors here that are actually going to be getting some of these sales. And so based on that, I'd probably buy at least 10 of these, maybe 20, just so I'm in stock for a bit. Really want to take advantage of this item with a pretty decent ROI, right? So let's go ahead and check out the next item here. So we found this item, some kind of, body lotion, that kind of thing. And then over here, we're able to buy it for about $10 a piece if you, kind of buy in bulk or whatever. So 3 from $10 a piece. But this is something you guys are going to see. It's not going to be the most common thing in the world, but I get questions about it a lot. So I wanted to include it in this video, is having different languages on the bottle, right? So some of you guys probably noticed it, especially with lotions and vitamins and those kinds of products. It's really important to make sure that the actual, correct language is on the bottle. There's been some cases where you're actually able to find the foreign version of the product. So especially you'll find some products like this that are in Spanish. If you're able to find the listing for that product that's in Spanish, then go for it. We've made some pretty good money sliding into the niche of selling those different language products. So in this case, the German or whatever language this is, let me know in the comments if I'm super wrong on that one. There's not a listing on Amazon for it. So unfortunately, we would have to avoid this product, even though it's probably the exact same thing. The standards can vary by country, and you wouldn't want someone buying the product. And, if you bought a product that the bottle was supposed to be in English and you bought it and it's got, German or whatever on it, probably wouldn't be super happy, right? You'd probably be returning that product. So stay away from something like that, even though this is profitable. I get questions about that pretty often. So really just wanted to talk about that. The next example of a potentially profitable product here, this, this dry ice, body powder, that kind of thing, is going for about $37 on Amazon. And then over here on Ace Hardware, I noticed that it is selling for $15, right? So this would be a pretty decent flip if everything kind of shakes out here. But let me go ahead and dive into the keep it here, right? So this is why having tools like this is so important. So as we're zooming out, we can see we're going to be paying $15 for it. Right now, the price is, $37, right? So 80% ROI, that's amazing. As we're zooming out though, we can see the more typical prices for this item is closer to like $28, right? So we're kind of mousing along those, 28, $27, something like that. We're still making a little bit of profit, but as we go even further back, right, it's like $23. So the reason why the price is so much higher right now is because the seller count went down. And so unless this product got discontinued or something like that, that could be what's going on here. You can do a little bit more digging on the products. If you ever see this keep a pattern where the price has gone way up, you want to make sure that there's not going to be a new influx of sellers like, oh, that product's good again, let me hop on. And then suddenly you've got 31 sellers on the listing again, right? So something that I really like to check on listings is to just make sure my profits are consistent long term. And so for me, I like to use the 90-day average on SellerAmp. I'll just go ahead and click that, plug it in there. And for me, I like to look for at least 30%, 35% ROI. And I don't really want to spend $15 to make, less than $4. And so even at that average price, it's not the worst thing in the world. Selling it for $37 would be pretty awesome, but I see it all the time where new sellers buy a product. It was an awesome product, and then they weren't paying attention to the fact that the item should have been way cheaper. It's way cheaper in the past. There was way less sellers on it than normal, and so it kind of came back to how it normally is, and then the price went down, right? So if you guys are new sellers, do not buy into the hype. Make sure you're looking at the entire history of the product, and in this case, it would be the worst scenario, right, if it came back down to that original price. So you can let me know whether or not you would buy this product or not. I think this one actually is up for debate, but since it is more of a $27 product here, I might not want to take that gamble. You guys can let me know down below if you would take the gamble on this product, but really I like to see the full picture, make sure I'm profitable at the average price of an item, if at all possible. So this last product I want to go ahead and break down for us is a tea right here. So I noticed that we can buy this product for $4 from Walmart, and then over here on Amazon, this same product is selling for about $46. So if we do 378 times 6, because it's a 6-pack up there in the description, we're going to be paying about $23 for that 6-pack. And then over on Amazon, that same product selling for about $46. And when we jump into the Keep a chart down here, we can see that the price is fairly consistent on this item. Another thing to think about, right? We were just talking about increasing new sellers there. So there might be a little bit of a price drop there. It wouldn't super surprise me, but we can zoom out to the past history of this item here and see right now we've got, 12 sellers on the listing. Back here, there was 10 sellers on the listing and it was still $45. 11 sellers on the listing is $45. So to me, if I see an increase in sellers, I want to make sure that that price that it was last time there was that many sellers on the listing is going to stay consistent. And so for here, even though there are more sellers than there was, the price in the past was pretty consistent when there was, 10, 11 sellers on a listing like this. And so I would probably go ahead and pull the trigger on something like that. And the other side of this that we want to go ahead and check is the variations tab. And when we do that, we can see that this particular type of herbal tea is actually the most well reviewed on this listing compared to the other one where it really wasn't selling at all. This you can see it's very quickly gaining ratings, which means even though there's a couple new sellers hopping on this listing, the ratings are growing so fast that, in my opinion, the sales velocity is going to outpace the the increase in supply there. And even if it does lower the price a little bit, we'd maybe we end up at $39 or $40, and we're still not doing too bad there, especially in grocery where we're not going to have pretty much any returns. And then at $46, obviously we're all over that product, right? So based on the fact that this is the fastest selling variation, the whole listing is selling about 300 times a month. Figuring out how much to buy is something you're going to kind of develop a feel for over time. But here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 competitors that are kind of in our price range. So we would be the 5th. Let's say that the total sales on this listing, 58% of the reviews are going to this particular product. So we can call it 58% of that. So if you're following my math there, that's about 160, 170 sales per month that are going to be for this particular tea. We've got about 4 competitors. And so personally, I would probably buy about 30 to 50 of these 6-packs, which isn't too bad at all. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this product breakdown here. If you don't have the tools that we broke down in today's video, make sure you go ahead and check out the links down below, especially to activate your SellerAmp free trial. If you guys do have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to drop those down below as well. Super happy to answer those. If you guys did get value, I'd really appreciate hitting that subscribe button as well, kind of add some of that value back to my business. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.